If you'll bear with me today, I had to lead devotionals for classes meeting this morning for the multiplication team, and I'd been dwelling in Leviticus. So if you want to run out and grab your copy and flip to chapter 13 and 14, I'm not going to read all of it. It's pretty long. But I was just reading through that and marveling at two different things, I guess. One is the fact that God's not surprised by disease. And so when he is talking to the people and instructing them going into the land, he talks about when leprosy happens, when skin diseases happen. Here's what needs to happen to protect the people from that spreading. And then he talks about the restoration when they're healed and how that takes place. And so that was the piece I want to read. So it's just going to be two verses from chapter 13, verse 45 and 46, and then two verses from 14, verse 8 and 9. And so I just wanted to have this be an encouragement that God already knows about disease, and he already knows about the restoration and what is going to take place in the future, even though we're in the midst of it and we don't know what the future will hold. God already has that restoration prepared. So, beginning in verse 45, anyone with such a defiling disease must wear torn clothes. Let their hair be unkept, cover the lower part of their face, and cry out, unclean, unclean. As long as they have the disease, they remain unclean. They must live alone. They must live outside the camp. I never noticed until I was reading this again, they must cover the lower part of their face. That's what the recommendations are now, is that we have face coverings. We have the lepers in our journey of joy, and so we know the unclean and the living outside the camp, the social isolation and social distancing. That's back here in Leviticus. Now for the verse 8 and 9 of 14, the restoration. The person to be cleansed must wash their clothes, shave off their hair, and bathe with water. Then they will be ceremonially clean. After this, they may come into the camp, but they are to stay outside the tent for 7 days. On the seventh day, they must shave off all their hair. They must shave their head, their beard, their eyebrows, and the rest of their hair. They must wash their clothes and bathe themselves with water, and they will be clean. So there's hope, there's a future, and God knows it. We're all going to be restored to relationship and be able to be in proximity with one another soon enough.